Hey riders, Inside Cycling World here, coming live from the studio located somewhere in the frozen tundra of Canada. Got a cool new event here today. Let's take a look at this baby. What we're doing here is Gem City ICC group ride with a twist. So in this one, it's a group ride. Great to see 25 people signed up for it. It's a group ride where the leader gives the group ride people a head start. In this case, it's like going to be 130 seconds. So it will be up to the leader of the ride to chase those people down. It's going to be interesting to see what will happen when they get caught. Will they start helping the leader catch the other people in front? We're doing Schwarzwald 2 Omni mode, Black Forest 2 Omni mode. In Germany, it's 12.1 kilometers long, so that's about, what is that, 7 miles, 7.5 miles, 431 meters of climbing. So it's an average gradient of 4%. So the leader could have some tough work cut out for them here. We max out at 9%. Just going to have a quick look at the start sheet here. Okay, so we're starting in 2 minutes, as usual. So here's the name, and in case you're looking for next week, Gem City ICC. And I think this leader, this little blurb here, leader gives 130-second head start. That's probably going to change, week to week on the course, the event. I think there's a lot of variations that could be done here to make this a really, really interesting event. You could give people faster bikes, slower bikes. There could be multiple people at the back waiting to chase, a group at the front. Give them like a 5-minute head start and see if you can hunt them down. Pretty fascinating, really. Let's just jump back quick if we can. I'm still waiting for that watch button to show up. So as you can see here, here's the gradient. There's a little kick at the beginning. Little bumps like 4, 5, 6, 7%. Maybe some false flatty stuff through here, but you do get some, 6, 7, 8%. Yeah, this is all false flat. I think the climb really starts in earnest, as they would say, at around 6 kilometers. So we're going to have a 6-kilometer uphill slog, a little bit of false flatty at the top too. Hopefully our leader has selected the right bike. Let's see what happens here. We're in the start chute now. Just waiting on my watch button. You know how this goes, right? I wish I could be in the start chute with them. I'm sure tension is increased. Nerves are probably frayed. And I see now 26 riders registered. Let's hope the majority of them show up. There's a few GRC team members in here as well. Got Dawn here for sure. Billy Ho's here. Of course, the leader of this event, SR71, the lead Chase. Anyways, is a Gem City ICC rider and a GRC member. So this is in the final minute before we start. Just going to hover right here. And here we go, folks. Getting right to it. So, up super early today. I've been up about an hour and a half now. Pretty excited for this event. It's 4:15 in the morning for me. So here we go. You're like, where's all the action? What's going on? Our leader, SR71 here, is sitting in the start chute. Let's get to the front. Have a little look around. We've got Danon here. Danon rides with GRC, Belgian 66, Ramo, Tony, Philippe, Bagger 69, who I see with Muckers all the time. Here's Dawn, GRC member. Lloydie, _HF. Not sure what HF stands for. Let's have a little look here. Oh, this is cool. Let's go to the front here, and we got Tony, Philippe, 86. We're looking back at Tony right now. The group chasing up behind the motorcycle camera. Got that dude that's hanging crazy off the back of the camera. Let's just do a little map mode here. So you can see here we've got like a nice group moving away, and SR71 is sitting in the start chute still. So you can see everyone pulling away here through that first little village. I'm sure SR71 at this point is just dying to go. Back to camera. See, he's still sitting here. Just having a little look around. Yep, that would be behind him. Let's get to the front. Oh, we've got some cameras loading. Okay. Is everyone going by? Taking a look back here, so we got baggers pushing hard at the front, hitting the first kind of little kicks. You can see on the profile on the bottom too the kicks happening. So at this point here, John should have just taken off, I believe. Okay, so here's baggers. We've got Treviso, got a good group working on front here. Belgian 66, Anther 1968. This looks like JBH 1101. And we've got Dawn right here at the front. Take a little look back to SR 71. He's on the move now. He's on the move now. Getting to some action cam here. He's chasing the camera right now. I'm just going to bring the camera a little bit closer to us. See if we can do that. I've got it on far. Sorry, that's from my setting yesterday. Let's go with a middle view. Mouse is getting stuck here. Don't quit that. So now things have been moved up a little bit. Now we're just hovering over SR71 shoulder here. Pushing hard, 5 watts per kilo. And so at this point here, to the closest rider, John has a distance of 400 meters to make up. The front riders, let's take a look at this. They're out 900 meters ahead of John. What can he pull back here? Is this possible? Treviso just hammering along here. They just came out of a little bit of a bump. I saw some 6-7% there. So we got Treviso and Belgian 66 working together. Baggers is caught a little bit of no man's land here. Can see the two ahead of him. And then there's a 100-meter gap back to JBH 1101. We've got Dawn back here as well in 5th place, moving along quite nicely, pushing over 300 watts at the moment. Moving ahead. Oh, interesting. I see that it looks like, is this Bagger here? Sorry. JBH 1101 is on a TT bike. So that might, you can see the positioning on the bike here beside Dawn. That is a TT bike. Let's have a little look back at them here. So we're going to look back. Yep, that's TT position. We've got Anther 68 pulling up behind them. Tony Philippe, not far behind either. Ramo. Let's flip the camera around here. So you can see there's riders just around the corner here. Let's get back to John here and see how he's doing. So at this moment, John's pulled back 300 meters on, it looks like TXNOH. What we're going to do, and just ahead of that rider is Brevet 05. Gem City rider. We've also got Kristen there, Danon right together, and Lloydie just cranking away up ahead. Let's get a little look at Lloydie here. Check out the gear he's wearing. So behind Lloydie, you can see Danon. So what I want to do now is get to this rider here, TX, and in the distance, you can see John coming. John, SR71 is John. John's coming around the corner, cranking. I'm not sure which bike John selected. I believe, look at him moving up here. Just flying up. And into the distance he goes. That's so great. Brevet is next up the road. Let's see if we can have a little peek back and see John anywhere. I'd like to see him come around the corner, but I don't think we're going to see him at this point. A little bit too far. So at this point here, John's caught one and just flew by the rider there that he passed. Just didn't have the right kind of momentum to jump on his wheel and help out. I'm hoping some of these riders are going to actually want to become the hunters. Brevet here just bogging down a little bit on this climb here, 3-4%. It's a little bit false flatty. There, we can now see John in the distance. You can just see him coming off the edge of the screen. John just emptying the tank here. What we're going to do now is just pop back to the front. We're at Treviso. We've got Treviso, Belgian 66 working really well together. And Baggers is right there as well. Further back, we have Anther 1968, who is with Dawn, right beside him all the way. Which was the rider that had, yeah, it's JBH here. See, JBH is going to fall off now. They might pull something back here. Any of these little kicks, 6-7%, they're going to have a bit of a struggle because they're on the TT bike. Just behind them, we've got Tony Philippe, Ramo, Lloydie, HF doing great with Danon just coming up behind him now. Danon's reeling Lloydie back in. But let's get back to SR71 here. Have a look at this. So Brevet has just been passed. Oh, yeah. Kirsten was just passed by SR. Oh, sorry. I'm on Brevet now, looking back as John comes up. So here comes John. He's just passed Kirsten. Sorry, Kristen. And Brevet 05. Moving well. Can John maintain this speed? Further up the road, he's got Danon. Now, Danon, SR71, Brevet, and Kristen, they ride together quite a bit, so he knows what their abilities are. Danon is just maintaining a nice steady pace here, not pushing huge watts. I know Danon's coming back from an injury. Lloydie's working extra hard up front right now. He's pushing almost 3 watts per kilo. So I'm going to go back to Danon here. Now, let's see what we can do here. So baggers, yeah, we've got a good group. The group at the front's working really well together. Belgian 66 here. There's 3 riders at the front. Treviso 6 watts per kilo. Baggers, they're all there. There's 3 riders at the front. A couple 100-meter gap to Anther 68 and Don. Again, GRC member, great guy. Don't know Anther yet, but we'll find out who they are. So let's just keep an eye on Don here for a second. Here's Don's viewpoint. It looks like he's riding on the Trek Madone, which is probably the ideal bike for this. Probably the best combination of aero and weight savings. So Don has just moved past Anther. Don's doing well over 4 watts per kilo now. But let's get back to... so at this point, SR71 is about 1 kilometer behind Don. There's a lot of strong riders here. Oh, and we just missed a pass. Let's get back to SR71. We're going to have a little peek back here. We can just see Lloydie just slipping back behind SR71 at the moment. Gap's growing quickly. We're out to 20 meters. Great ride so far. Just going to chug to the back here a little bit. So we lost Tony Philippe. Looks like he had a disconnect. We do have, so we had 14 riders on course. We now have 13. So some of the signups couldn't make it, which is unfortunate. I think they're missing out on an awesome event here. John just hammering down here on the flats, trying to keep his speed up. A little false flatty. He's going to have to pull back a big gap here now. He's got 750 meters to pull back on Ramo 208. Let's jump up to Ramo. Here's his viewpoint. Try out a different camera mode here, folks. A little pano mode. Sit on Ramo. Ramo is only 172 meters behind JBH, and Don's only 300 meters out. So there's this one gap here. This is, you can see it on the screen right now on the bottom of the profile. SR71 has the star on his bubble. Ramo is the green bubble up ahead. Let's do a little map mode here. So here's Ramo. The other riders are just ahead. Here's our leader, Treviso, at the top of the screen. Purple would be Baggers. Then we come back to Dawn here. Dawn and Anther, I believe. Then we got JBH. Here's Ramo. And if we're lucky, we might just see John off the side of the right-hand side of the screen here. Might be just too big of a gap at the moment. He's pulled back 100 meters since I just started talking about this battle here. Okay, we can't see him yet. Let's just give it some time. How long can John push this big power for? I mean, the riders ahead of him they're matching him. They are matching him at this point. Ramo, I think, sees John coming up slowly. Look at this here now. We were at 750 meters. Now we're down to 570. And that distance is just dropping. Ramo might have been changing gears or trying to get some power going, knowing that John is coming up behind him. So again, John, that's SR71. I'll probably use the name interchangeably here. Let's pop to the front. A little look back here at our leaders. So we've got Treviso here. Treviso is a level 62 rider, so does a lot of riding, obviously. Riding with Belgian 66. And these two riders here, let me just have a quick peek at them. 60 to 70 kilograms at most, I would say. Yeah, Belgian looks like he's just over 70 kilos. Treviso, like 60 kilos. It's hard to really tell. The numbers are changing a lot on me here. Mental math's not my greatest at 4:30 in the morning. Baggers. Seen Baggers a lot on the Muckers ride. Hopefully his disconnect issues are all figured out here. I know he's had some problems with that. Coming back to Anther. Okay, so here's what we're trying to watch here. Oh, you can see just in the distance, Lloydie is trying to come back. Great job by Lloydie here. See, now, what's going on here, folks, is that since SR71 is the leader of the group ride, the magnet is in effect. So Lloydie's getting a little bit of a tow back to the front. Check this out. That's the beauty of this event. When you get passed and caught, you're going to have the magnet pulling you back. So you can see the riders that have been passed. Lloydie and Kristen are right there. And Brevet's there as well. So if these riders could get back on terms with John, they could probably get out and help him a little bit. You know, like ride in front, give him a little bit of a break on the climb here. So SR71's got a little bit of more false flat to do here. And maybe we're just past the definition of false flat now. I'm seeing 4 and 5%. I'd say up to 4 false flat. But you can see the 3 riders just behind them. They're coming up fast now. Let's get back into map mode. Here they all are. Here's the other hunters. They're coming. Let's get back to this. Okay, so Ramo, holding on for dear life at this moment. Still has a good gap, though. This is where it's going to start to get really hard. Ramo looks like they're on the Trek Madone, so good bike choice. That was the smart one for today. And we're going to start climbing here pretty hard. So if we take a look at Treviso, we're going to see what the climb's going to be like. So Treviso, Belgian 66, and Bagger 69, they're all on the 6 to 7% stuff right now. And, you know, I'm thinking we're probably not going to get too much worse than that. 8, 9 would be the most. I think 9 is the max gradient for this. I think there might be some... That 8, 9% stuff might be right at the split that's up ahead. If you look at the red bubble on the bottom, there's a little black dot. I think that's where the steepest might be. I have done this ride before, quite a few months back. Okay, yep, so you can see here now, with the start of the climb, that Ramo... Ooh, Ramo is just... Oh, I saw big numbers there for a second. Must have been just like a little sprint. John's bringing him back. Still coming back. Let's get on John here. You see Lloydie just floating in the distance. So there is magnet effect on this ride. But John's just putting down a lot of power. Looks like he's on a fairly fast bike too. I can't tell what he's on. Is that the Cervelo he's on? I think he's on the Cervelo. So he's going to have an aero advantage on any of the flats. Sorry folks, just having a sip of coffee there. In the bunker. In the tundra. Okay, so the distance is dropping the whole time. Let's see how Ramo handles the climb. That's what we're up for here. So there's Ramo 208 and JBH 1101. Those are the two closest that I think. Look at this here. JBH 1101. I was going to say looks catchable, and I think definitely catchable now that I see them on the TT bike. Straight up TT bike. This is going to be a struggle up this hill now. In fact, we can see Ramo closing the distance here on JBH. JBH's view looking forward. Looking behind, you can see that Ramo is trying to come up from behind. You know, John's not very far behind the corner there. I'm going to just jump to a map view here, just to show you the layout. Here we go. JBH struggling now. Still putting down great power, though. It's just the bike. The bike is slow up these climbs. JBH is here. Ramo 208, is that what it is? Yeah, 208 is the green dot, and John is his first yellow dot. Right on the bottom of the screen, being pursued by the other hunters. Come on, other hunters, get up there. Help a guy out. Okay, back to camera mode. We got some action coming down. So here, yeah, look at behind us here. We got Kirsten. Sorry, I keep saying Kirsten. Kristen. Kristen. I will never forget your name, Kristen. We have Kristen, Lloydie, and Rouvy coming back at John, getting some magnet effect. Come on, folks, get up there and help the hunter out. Ramo just holding on now. 125 meter lead over SR71. JBH managed to pull out a little bit of distance there on Ramo. So it looks like JBH is just pushing a huge gear here. Yeah, huge gear up this hill. I can see their cadence right now is in the 50s, and I like this. This is something I would do. I'm not a spinner. I'm a grinder. Obviously, JBH feels comfortable pushing this gear. Good for them. And we'll look behind. Look at Ramo here in the 90s, spinning up the same hill. So just totally different riding techniques. It's going to just bounce away for a second here. We're going to flip the camera to the front, and we're going to pop up to Baggers. Baggers 69. I think I saw Baggers in the Muckers race yesterday. By the way, that race video will be coming out today. So we got Baggers 69 leading the way, 4 watts a kilo with Treviso. Looks like Baggers is trying to go on a move here, I believe. Putting in a little bit of a dig in, just opening up a little tiniest bit of separation to Treviso, which Treviso is now trying to react to. Yeah, Treviso is reacting. Take a look at this, folks. But Belgian 66 has been distanced on the first part of these climbs. So we've only got 2 at the front working together now. Back to SR71. Has got 3 Gem City riders right behind them, 25 meters back. But they're struggling to get back on. They are totally struggling to get back on his wheel. They can see him, but they just cannot pull him back. Great job by John here, maintaining 3 watts per kilo all the way. And now the distance to Ramo is coming down again. I think Ramo is starting to struggle. I think we're going to see John come around this corner right away. I'll give you a little map mode. Some perspective. Look how close we are now. So we're through the split. Maybe the steepest stuff is coming up right away. Might be around the next bend. I can see a little chicane here in the road. I guess it's technically not a chicane, but looks like one from the map view. Ramo's trying to run the hunters. The hunted is running. John's pursuing though. 75 meters to go now. Let's get back to our camera view. So here's Ramo. John is 78 meters back. Might see them come around that corner. Just might see them. No, it's just a little bit too far still. And you know, Ramo here is on the Trek Madone. I believe John is on the Cervelo. So the Trek Madone does have a climbing event. You can just see John's name tag popping up on the screen right now at the back there. And Lloydie's name is there as well. Good job, Lloydie. Get up there and help John. I can see the others as well. Jump back to the beginning. The front. Baggers is here. Treviso's back on terms with Baggers. Belgian has fallen back further. They might have had just a little bit of a bad spell there. They were right at the front the whole way up until about kilometer 7 and a half. Then we've got Anther riding alone. These riders riding alone will struggle a little bit once they have no one to draft with. Look in the distance there. We can just see Dawn. Here's Dawn by himself too. See if Dawn is completely alone. Yeah. Oh no, Dawn can see a rider just around the corner. Then we fall back to JBH, who is on the TT bike, just grinding this massive gear up the hill. Okay, so Ramo is within sights. Ramo is within striking distance. Now, the struggle is going to be, in my opinion, I think that John, SR71, will catch Ramo here in Ugh. It just depends how much this hill grinds them down. I mean, this is a bit of a grind of a climb here now. You know, remember, the course is only, I believe, 12 kilometers long, and there was over 400 meters of climbing. You can see here we've already climbed 250 meters with 181 to go. So that's 430 meters of climbing. That's 1,300 feet of climbing in imperial units. And the majority of that you can see is in the back end of the course. There is false flat at the top. Here's John. Ramo's on screen now. Lloydie's only 26 meters back, chasing John. And he can see Ramo as well. Moving back to Brevet 05, riding with Kristen. We then have TX and Danon. We've only lost one rider, and that's Tony Philippe. And I think Tony Philippe was putting out a lot of power at the beginning. I'm not really sure about what kind of rider they are, but that might have been a very unfortunate disconnect for them. Ramo knows it's inevitable now. Ramo's thinking, oh my, here he comes. I've been in the situation, and you just kind of hold on. Just ride your own pace. Don't try to go above your ability right now. Because if you're matching their numbers, you might be looking at the screen matching their numbers, and maybe 3.5 watts per kilo for the chaser is easy. Maybe it's just their normal pace. And so when you try to match them at 3.5 thinking, well, I'm matching you, they can turn it up another notch. Just see another rider off the screen too. I think we're seeing JBH just up ahead. Actually, we should be looking back at, yeah, we're getting close now, folks. We've got another catch going on. So this is Ramo looking back at SR71 and Lloydie just in the distance. Lloydie's doing a great job today. Very good, Lloydie. Here comes SR71, 20-meter gap now. Ramo should jump onto SR71 wheel and, recover for, let's give him 30 seconds, 40 seconds recovery, and then jump on and maybe help SR71 get up that hill. There's a bit of a gap now. We're talking 800 meters out to dawn. This may be the hard part now, because these front riders are riding very strong. Okay. Yeah, see here with the gradients in that, the Trek is the Madone climbing bike. It's got a little bit of advantage on that Cervelo. Managing to pull a bit of distance out. Let's get back to the front and see what's going up here. So we got Treviso with baggers. And just in the different distance, we can see that looks like Belgian 66. Let's have a little look forward. Can we see them around the corner? So Belgian 66 is in third place at the moment. It's got a 200-meter gap to Treviso and Bagger 69. I wonder if we'll see them off the screen. Maybe not. Kind of just taking a corner here, going up a big kick. Switch to map mode. They are just around the corner here. So the red dot and purple dot, that's Baggers and Treviso, followed by Belgian 66 here. Moving back to Anther 68. And if you look on the far right-hand side of the screen at the moment, you can see a yellow dot. That's Dawn, Team GRC, pursuing them. Great job, pushing 3 watts per kilo. Then we've got JBH. Look at what's going down here, folks. I think JBH is starting to suffer on that time trial bike, going up this long grind. They've got a huge weight disadvantage. Ramo is now catching JBH 1101, and you can see the pursuit from behind. So if we go to Ramo here, let's quickly do this. Let's get back to the action. Ramo now has JBH in his sights. Let's take a look at JBH again. The gradients come down to that 5% range. Maybe they're able to get their gears up a bit. Looks like JBH was just having a little look back there too. I don't know if you caught that on screen there or not, but they were looking back. They know they're coming. There's Ramo, SR71 just off the edge of the screen. So we've got 100 meters now for the catch up to 6th place for SR71, the leader of the group ride. And again, Lloydie right there, just hanging on to the group leader's wheels. Get up there, Lloydie. Nice job. Let's go back to John here. So yeah, you can see these are the riders that were passed earlier, hanging on John's view. So we're now at 64 meters to Ramo. Again, Ramo has slight advantage on that trek. I think the trek is a 3 weight rating, whereas the Cervelo is 2, meaning the Cervelo is slightly heavier. That's not very much, though. The Cervelo, up until very recently, was probably the best bike in the game. In the software. I want to call it a game. Yeah, it's a game to me. Okay, so we can see Ramo. Less than 50 meters now. We're less than 100 meters to JBH. It's all going down here on this bend here, folks. Yellow Rider is JBH. Green Rider is Ramo. SR71 is the tag here you can see in the middle. A little bit of a kick here. We're hitting some 7-8% stuff. They're really going to close the distance on JBH now. Just at a total weight disadvantage on that TT bike. I guess on a group ride you can select whatever bike you want, so that's really interesting though. Okay, Ramo is just hanging on for their position and doing a great job. Doing a very good job of just holding the leader at bay. John's put a little bit of distance into the riders he's already passed behind him. I think they're all struggling to keep up with his pace. Less than 30 meters. So you can see here Ramo is focused on catching JBH. Less than 20 meters now. Let's watch this one go down. We're going to go to JBH. We're going to have a little look back here. So you can see Ramo 208 coming up behind JBH. Again, JBH is in the 50s. Cadence, high 50s, low 60s. Powering up on that TT bike. Decided to have an extra hard workout. Now has decided to put a bit of a dig in when Ramo comes up on him. Just gaps him a little bit there. Do you see that? Just dropped a bit of power and pulled away again. Now we're in the 3% stuff. Maybe the Cervelo starts to have that little bit of advantage again. As soon as it steepens up again, though, you see that trek coming back. And it depends what Ramo does, too. Ramo's, just over 2.5 watts per kilo. John's chasing here. So we're 50 meters back from JBH to SR71. Hey guys, I gotta go to the front because there's action going on up there too. We got baggers still with Treviso, and they won't be caught. They're coming to the finish now. I'm gonna jump onto Treviso. We're gonna get a sprint finish here. So we got Treviso and baggers 69, both pushing 4 to 5, 6 watts per kilo. I think Baggers is looking for something here. Baggers is gone. Baggers is gapped. Put a bit of a gap into Treviso. Treviso counting with 7 watts per kilo there. Is there anything left here for Treviso? No, Baggers has got it. Treviso is going to be second place. We will then be popping back to... Sorry, folks. Popping back to Belgian 66. At this point, I'm going to jump to a map mode just so I can see an overhead. So you can see here Belgian 66 is coming up to the finish line on the top left here, just under the profile. We then have Anther 1968. All these gaps are big enough, nothing's going to change here. Then we have Dawn, doing a great job, 3 watts per kilo. Just coming through this little town. Let's have a little look at Dawn here, see what's going on. And then I'm sure when I jump back. So Dawn's totally decked out in Trek gear today. Ideal choice. 3.5 watts per kilo. Great workout. Now, by the time I jump back, let's see if things have changed. So we're back to JBH. We're going to have a little look back from JBH here. Still pushing that monstrous gear. 53 revolutions per minute. With Ramo chasing, 90s to 100. So 2 totally different styles of riding here. Spin or grind. I think both can win. I remember the term in the 2000s, spin to win, all that stuff. Yeah, well, maybe for some people. The grinders can do good as well. SR71, just trying to close the distance to Ramo. So I think we've still got some action here. Everyone else up ahead, so 1st through 5th place, positions are secure. Nothing's going to change there unless they, flat, blow a tire, snap a chain. They're all safe and secure. So first through fourth have finished. Dawn's coming to the finish right now. Less than 500 meters to go. Excellent job, Dawn. The battle here is going to be for 6th, 7th, and 8th. And who knows if someone comes up from behind. We're not sure about that. But at this point, they haven't been able to. So even with the magnet kind of pulling them, they haven't been able to bridge back to our leader. But Ramo just keeps holding SR71 away. Okay, SR71 just in the middle of a gear change there. Saw the power drop quickly. Now, once we get over the top here, there's a little bit, you can look on the profile, a little bit of orange left here, steeper 5-6%. Then we're more into the flats. This is going to be SR71's last chance to get ahead of these two riders. I'm going to sit on Ramo for a while. Yeah, this is quite the cat and mouse game here. They're kind of all pulling back, moving away. Like just a couple of minutes ago, Ramo was right on JBH's wheel. JBH gave it a little dig and pulled away. And again, now what's interesting here too is now, at this point here, the rider with the most advantage is now JBH. At this point here, he has the fastest bike in the game. In the battle. I hate saying game. I don't want to say that. I want to make this seem like a game. It's gamified exercise competition. It's a game because I'm a video game player. Yeah, TT bike here. Probably the Specialized Shiv, I'm guessing. And they're probably just going to fly away now. So this came down to bike choice here. Just held them off long enough. You should see the gap growing from JBH to Ramo and SR71 now. This is just going to grow. John will have a chance here because he is on the Cervelo, which is a fairly fast bike as well. You just see Ramo in the distance, and the gap is growing. So let's do map mode again. Here we go. So you saw how close those dots were before. Looks like, yep, look at this here. You can just see it happening on screen right now on the map mode. SR71 is now coming up right behind Ramo. Let's get out of here and get back on SR71. And see where we're at. Look at this, folks. Yes. The caught has been made. He has been caught. Can he respond? Okay. Well, Ramo's trying to respond to this. He's like, I'm not getting caught today. He's doing everything he can. See, Brevet's just lurking in the background here. Brevet 05 is just lurking 40 meters back from SR71. Okay, so things just spread out there a bit again. But yeah, so look at this here now. Now getting on the nice, really flat stuff. False flat. Here we go. As I meant to say earlier, not the caught. The catch has been made. Morning brain, folks. And there we go. SR71 flying away now. Can Ramo react? Will he just say, that's enough? I don't want to run anymore. Slowly just drifting back. Okay. Now, this is going to be an interesting little battle here. Because we've got JBH 1101, 125 meters ahead of SR71. Both putting out about the same power. JBH, in a better, cadence now. Better? Maybe not. I'm saying spinning is not necessarily better than grinding for certain people. This person likes to push a big gear. Whereas John's flying more in the 90s. High speed spinning. I struggle with this because it really zaps my heart rate. Ramo is just hanging on here now. Maybe Ramo's going to come up and give SR71 a hand. 4 watts per kilo. We're coming to the finish right now, folks. Oh my. Here we go. Sprint finish. Sprint finish. Ramo just nips around SR71 at the finish. Kind of a cheeky little move there. That's your finish, folks. Let's just keep an eye here. Everyone else is coming to the finish right now. Great job, everyone. So we still have TX out there. We'll watch TX cross the finish line. What an awesome event. That was so cool. I think there we were looking at bike choice decisions. Here's our one breakdown of the day, Tony Philippe. Very unfortunate. So you can see how on those rides, you're really mixing up the group ride. Now, if I would have been caught, I would have helped the leader out. That's kind of my style. I would have pulled for the leader at that point. I think once you're within 5-10 meters, you're caught, especially when you've been giving a 2 minute and 10 second lead. But you can modify those so much. This is way more interesting to me than a normal group ride where you just tootle along and you get pulled by your leader. Think of it that for the first little while you're getting racy and a bit more intensity, and then you can tootle in the last part of the ride. This is my style, and I think I want to participate in this next week. So anyways, this is Colin, Inside Cycling World. Please support the channel. Drop a subscribe if you can. And we'll see you again soon.